Hello, everyone. I must welcome you all to our webinar series, Future You, Set Your Career Compass Right with Experts Insight. And I'm Kalyani, your host for today's webinar. So today our topic is how to build a career in digital marketing. And in this session, we will be talking about the roles and responsibilities of a digital marketer. What is the career growth like from entry level to senior level? How can an MBA be crucial in landing the perfect digital marketing job? What is it that a firm like Google looks for in a DM candidate? Skill sets required for this post, for this role. And also we'll be taking some tips from the speaker on group discussion and personal interviews. So let's welcome our speaker. We have with us Akashdeep Saxena. He's a customer success lead at Google UK and an alumnus of MICA Ahmedabad. Prior to Google UK, Akashdeep has worked with Google India and Group M. Welcome, Akashdeep Saxena, and thank you so much for being here today with us. So,
Thank you, Kalyani.
yeah, welcome. So let's start from the beginning. So we will start from your content, your career, your job in content writing, and then how exactly and what made you pursue an MBA, and then of course we will be taking the rest of your success story in a bit. So yeah, so let's start from your
Sure.
beginning. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, thanks to Kalyani for having me here, and thanks to IMS as well, which is crucial because I always mention that I
Yeah.
started my MBA preparation journey all the way back in 2009 in Lucknow when I joined
Oh,
IMS, and that
wow.
was the only coaching I ever went to. So I prepared for my CAT, my MBA entrances with IMS for almost 1.5 years because I started quite early. I started in my third year during my engineering, and then I attempted in my fourth year, like in my final year during my engineering. Like I'm sure a lot of the participants will relate with what I'm speaking. And
Hmm.
then in the next attempt is when I got through to MICA. So yeah, I'll take a bit of a rewind, try to understand, like I'll try to explain on how this journey got built. I belong from a city called Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh, where I did most of my schooling. Then I moved to Lucknow for a couple of years of schooling in CMS, Gomti Nagar. Then I prepared for engineering. Didn't get a very good college, so I ended up in a college in UPTU in Lucknow. It's a private college. Not many people will know about it, given the pan India audience that we have today.
Hmm.
And then I did my 4 years of engineering, figured out I don't love engineering as much. I'm not a very good engineer. So I started doing what a lot of you might also already be doing, trying to find out ways to do something which is not engineering. And
Hmm.
then I started preparing with IMS because I thought I'm good with communication. I'm good with like VA is good, verbal aptitude is good, comms is good. So I just need to brush up on my quant and data skills, and then I should be okay to be able to crack a MBA examination. But of course, like things don't work out as you plan out. And I didn't get any colleges, any good colleges in the first attempt. It was the second year of the CAT going online, so it was still very new at
Right.
that time, and people were still figuring out the coaching institutes were still figuring out how to have CAT as an online. How do we do mock tests? But before that, like we used to have like paper versions. You used to sit in a classroom with 20 other people, and you would do the OMR sheet. I don't even think the generation today will realize the OMR
Yeah.
sheets
Yeah.
because it's all click and scrolls
Hmm.
now. So that happened, and in the second attempt, while I was preparing in the second attempt, I did not want to have like a gap year. Did not want to have like a
Hmm.
full drop where I did not do anything because I was still waiting for my offer letter from my engineering campus placement. I had a campus placement in an IT company. Like I did an electrical engineering, but I had an IT company job,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I didn't want to go for it. And thankfully the offer hadn't come. So I wanted to still get some experience. So I joined a very small content writing company in Delhi. And I did that for a few months while preparing for CAT. And that was like during my drop year, 13th year. Oh no, sorry, not 13th. 4 years, and then the year after that, yeah, not
Hmm.
13th, yeah. The drop year after my engineering is when I got through CAT with a decent percentile, not very high. I should be honest, like it wasn't very high. I can tell. It was, I think, 88 percentile or something. It was not
Hmm.
90. And but thankfully, I cracked a couple of college examinations. So I think IMT was one of those which I got a call from. MICA was definitely on my top of my list because I wanted to get as close as possible to advertising, media, marketing. And I think MICA was one of the colleges at that time in 2012, which was known for it. I think it's even grown in that stature because of digital marketing and other specializations related to marketing. We can talk a little bit about that in the next
Yeah.
questions. But yeah, that's been my journey. I joined MICA. I did my master's in it's called PGDCM, Communications Management. I specialized in advertising management. I interned with an agency in Mumbai during my MICA, which is called the summer placement, the summer internship that we do during an MBA. That was 8 weeks with an agency called DDB Mudra, which is based in Mumbai in India. So they have their own setup. And that was really interesting. I can talk about it later. And then from campus, I got to be placed in another agency, which is Group M. So that was a stint I did for 1 year in Gurgaon. And after that, I got the opportunity to join from off campus during a period where Google was hiring for digital marketing big time in India. So I joined in Hyderabad, and I was in Hyderabad for 5 years with Google. Then I moved to Gurgaon for another role for 2 years. So I came back because I'm from North India. I think I sort of preferred North India eventually. And that was another 2 years during COVID. But after that, I got a role in London. So I've been in London for a couple of years as a customer success lead, which is not purely digital marketing, but given the scope which I operate with, it's close to Google Ads generally. But
Okay.
because of the time I've spent with Google, the time I've spent with digital marketing, I've gone a bit deeper, I would say. So anybody who's going to start off as a digital marketer will not get into the kind of work that I do. But yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
been helpful for me to have spent 5 or 6 years doing the basic digital marketing with Google while working with clients, agencies. What exactly is the basis of all Google Ads digital marketing that a lot of like customers, almost every customer that you would interact with will need. So yeah, that's been my journey in
Okay.
very
Yeah.
short. Yeah.
Let's first talk about the roles and responsibilities of a digital marketing professional. What do they do? And also from the beginning, as in, for example, most of our attendees have taken CAT already and also sitting for the other tests, also my CAT and everything. So the thing is, how exactly does it progress? The
Sure.
work and the roles and responsibilities, how do they change? How do they what are the roles and responsibilities overall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me let
Hmm.
me let,
Hmm.
let me take a step back for the benefit of the audience. I understand is not in the industry already. Like some
Hmm.
people might already be, very few, I'm
Hmm.
sure, but most of them might either be in a non-marketing role if they're working, if they are
Hmm.
experienced, or might be in a like in the final year of the college or in the drop year, like I said previously. So let me set up the landscape a little bit about where digital marketing in our world fits in, right? So you need
Hmm.
to understand, you need to look around what companies are doing digital marketing, why do they need to do digital marketing. So everybody needs to take a step back and understand. If you look around, so I always try to take an example of a company which everybody has been using. So we
Hmm.
can take an example of Uber, we can take an example of Zomato, we can take an
Yeah.
example of
Hmm.
Nike. So let's probably go with Zomato because I'm guessing this generation, most of our audience is a user of Zomato. So think of, and I'm taking only one example from one industry, but think of Zomato and how they want to grow their business. So who all are the people within Zomato who must be thinking on how to grow business? Of course, if
Hmm.
you're a successful app, you already have a lot of people who are using your app, but there's always competition. There will always be a Swiggy to a Zomato. There will always be an Ola to an Uber. There will always be an Adidas to a Nike. So how do you cut the competition? How do you build your audience? How do you build your customer base? How do you grow your customer base? How you grow your retention? Like how do you want people to come back because you've sold them something, a service or a product which is really useful, which has value, which is able to deliver return on the investment. So a lot of
Hmm.
conversation about ROI that is there. So let's try to understand the landscape here. For example, a company like Zomato, which thinks that okay, we have set this entire industry of delivering food up, and we think that we need to acquire more customers. So in Zomato's term, it means we first want people to install the app, and second, we want people to order from the app. And
Hmm.
third, we want people to order again from the app and
Yeah.
continue to ordering. So
Hmm.
that's called the lifetime value of a customer. So the customer just not, we are not successful as Zomato, if I'm Zomato, I'm not successful if the customers only install the app, because I'm not going to get paid for the free install. And even the first order, a lot of times the company will be running like an offer, 100 rupees off on the first offer. So because they're expecting you to come back again. So
Hmm.
this entire chain of how do you reach the customer, and you could put a billboard on the highway. You see a Zomato billboard, or like, oh wow, I should download the app. But there could be a point where you see, scan this code today, get 50 rupees off. So how do they reach out to you using Twitter, using social media like Instagram or Facebook? And that's where probably you will pick up those trends. So digital marketing now has been broken down into multiple things, I would say. Like social media probably would be the most common one, which everybody is currently aware of. Social media marketing is part of digital marketing. The other would be any kind of push digital marketing, of branding marketing, which you would see on YouTube as a video, on Instagram on your feed, like a feed ad. You would see
Okay.
like digital billboards in today's time, like around you on airports, on bus stations, on metros. So those are part of like the digital ecosystem, I would say. But if you go into the most common one, which is the pull side of marketing, which is search marketing, which is
Okay.
also called PPC in the Western world, pay per click customer. So when you search for something, whether you search it on Google browser, you search it on the Play Store, you might also search it in the Amazon search bar. So when you might have started to see even the Amazon search bar results show up some sponsored ads. So this is called a pull marketing or a search marketing strategy most of the times when you're looking up for stuff. And that's where Google has made up most of the industry. Like Google ads, as a company, 80% of the revenue comes from Google ads. And within Google ads, you think of YouTube as also Google ads, YouTube ads is also Google ads, but Google search or shopping ads, which you see on the main homepage, the Google search page, is the main source of revenue for Google as well, right?
Okay.
So if you think of how you want to reach out to the customer as Zomato. You want when people are looking for, let's say, best biryani near me, and
Hmm.
then you show up an ad on Zomato.
Yeah.
Click here to install, or maybe click here to order. So
Hmm.
that's like a pull strategy because I was looking only for biryani.
Yeah.
Okay, it was not that Zomato came onto my video. I was trying to look for the review of animal, and Zomato ad came up.
Hmm.
So that's a
Okay.
push strategy because I was looking for
Okay.
something else, and the Zomato ad came up, and they wanted to tell
Hmm.
me, okay, Zomato is running an offer for World Cup that
Hmm.
get 50 rupees off if you order, etc. But when I'm looking for something which is similar to my interest, that's a pull strategy, right? Think of if you're looking for a red shoe on Google search,
Hmm.
then you'll see an Adidas ad, you'll probably see a Myntra ad, you'll see a Amazon ad. So everybody is trying to get your attention, and that's where digital marketing comes into the picture. The point of pull or push strategy while reaching the consumer and till the point of making the consumer make that purchase of the service or the product, and also to the point of getting them back to you. This entire chain of events can be very broadly termed digital marketing.
Okay. Okay, so tell me something. So, how exactly, so a senior person, say from entry level to senior, if we are talking about the roles and responsibilities of a digital marketer, professional, how does it change? As in, all these push and pull and all. I mean,
Yeah.
who is deciding on this? What
Yes.
is the basis of all these decisions? Are there like a research department that is working on it? And then, as in, how different is this industry, digital bit of marketing, from the traditional form of marketing in that
Yeah.
department wise also, and also
Perfect.
entry level to yeah, to senior level? What kind of
Yeah, let me
things they
let
are
me take
doing?
let me take
Hmm.
a bit more time on trying to
Okay,
explain now the ecosystem of what
right.
all
Hmm.
roles go into digital marketing. So digital marketing is never a single role. So if
Okay.
you think from the Zomato perspective, there is going to be somebody within Zomato who is now thinking of expanding their user base either through more installs or getting more people to order through the app.
Okay.
So let's say they have one person who focuses only on getting more consumers to install Zomato through TV, and there's one person who only focuses on radio and newspaper. There's one person who focuses only on outdoor. There's one person who only focuses on Instagram social media strategy, and there's one person who
Okay.
only focuses on search ads, like whenever somebody is searching. So the last two people I mentioned, which is the social media marketing
Hmm.
manager and the search media manager, are probably the digital marketing person within the
Okay.
Zomato scheme of things.
Okay.
When Zomato has decided on this strategy, they have, let's say, 100 crores to spend. I'm just making up numbers. And they think, okay, 50 crores we'll spend on TV, 20 crores we'll spend on Hotstar, 10 crores on billboards and newspaper, another 10 crores on Instagram and Facebook, and another 10 crores on search, Google search. So the last 20, 30 crores, the Hotstar part, which is again digital, very much digital and very much growing. The search part and the social media part are being managed by these 2 or 3 people within Zomato. So now what they need to do is they need to set up ads. They will be running those ads. They will be looking for uh, expertise of people who understand the entire digital ads ecosystem. Because of the complexity which comes with digital marketing, not all companies can have that competency in house. So they go to something called an agency. So that's
Okay.
where the agencies come in who have more expertise across a specific kind of media. By media, I mean newspaper, social media, Hotstar as an OTT media platform, or search media, search as a Google search. Okay. So the agencies can have that expertise. Within the agency now, there is a digital marketing manager who has Zomato as their client, might have expertise only on Instagram. So that person from the agency, let's say Group M as the agency, and that person has social media marketing specialization, will help Zomato gain more eyeballs, more impressions, more clicks, more installs, more order value from Instagram. And there could be one more person who is managing the same thing at a search, Google search level, and one more person for YouTube, and one more person for Hotstar.
Okay.
Now let's think of how does the agency help? So there is this agency person who manages Hotstar also knows somebody in Hotstar, because Hotstar is where the ad will show up, or YouTube is where the
Okay.
ad will show up. So now this person also knows somebody within YouTube, which is Google, or Hotstar, which is Star TV, Star Media. So if you think of it, there are so many people all over in different digital marketing roles who are trying to help. Now, if you think from the other side, now let's talk about YouTube. Zomato uses Groupem, the agency, to run ads on YouTube. Now, YouTube is also a product within Google. There are tens of products. Somebody within YouTube is also a digital marketing person who will help Zomato reach their goals through the agency's help. So that's
Okay.
like a chain of roles which are formed. So every person within Google or YouTube, within GroupM, the agency, and within Zomato has slightly different roles and responsibility. But the end goal could be one of the top 3 things that we would think of from Zomato's perspective, right? Making more sales, getting more orders, having the same person come back, maybe install the app and not uninstall the app, maybe not order from Swiggy, like capture some of the competition. So these are just different stages or different goals which all of these people across Instagram, which is Meta, Facebook, Hotstar, which is OTT, Google, YouTube, will try to achieve those goals. So the business goals will always be the genesis of that decision making and the data that you mentioned, Kalyani.
Yeah.
And of course, when I said 100 crores, that also will depend on what are your goals. What do you want to make out of that 100 crores? I mentioned ROI. When you buy something from Zomato, you are thinking of spending 200 rupees on ordering food because you don't have the time for it. So you want value out of that 200 rupees. If Zomato says, okay, we're going to give you 50 rupees off, and Swiggy says, we're going to give you 60 rupees off, you might immediately flip to Swiggy because you're finding more value while
Yeah.
ordering from Swiggy, and if the rest of things are consistent. Okay. So that value or ROI is where the conversation of how do you divide that 100 crore rupees of the total marketing spend comes in. What are you trying to achieve? When you spend a lot of money on, let's say, YouTube, you're expecting people to not just see your ad and forget about it. So there's something called brand recall,
Yeah.
brand awareness. Okay. At the same time, when the next try to order, are they preferring your brand? So that's brand preference over a competition. Yeah. So these kind of this sort of like becomes an outcome of the entire digital marketing exercise, that the brand awareness or the brand preference was an outcome of me putting in so much effort, the digital marketing on Zomato, the agency person, the YouTube person trying to run ads off Zomato. Yeah. But eventually what they get is quantification, outcomes, metrics of the money that they have spent.
Can you tell us, say, for example,
Yeah.
uh, where does one begin in digital marketing if one has to make a career out of it?
Yeah. Let me try. So the most important thing that we need to keep in mind with digital marketing as an industry is it's not traditional. Like it's still new, it's still evolving. Like if you think of somebody who has 10 years of digital marketing experience, because digital marketing only started in 2012 or 13. Like if you think from an India's perspective, like because when we did not have 4G, I'm not even talking about 5G, which is still like penetrating. If you think from a non-smartphone perspective, what's the point of digital marketing? So
Correct.
only after 2014, 15, 16, when Geo came in, Geo started rising big time, that you could reach a lot more people in India through digital marketing. And that's when the roles started. That's when the industry started to understand that, okay, instead of putting all the money on billboards, all the money on newspaper prints, all the money on TV ads, we can use this money on Hotstar, YouTube, Google Ads, Instagram, Facebook. So every company which was spending, let's say, 100 crores on just TV or print or radio, which is the traditional marketing channels, started to move that money. So because of that, these roles started to create. And that's what I mentioned, 2015, 14, when Google was growing, all the clients were starting to realize. Think of a client which was not digital 10 years back. Let's probably take an example of Reliance. I think Reliance is a great example. They used to be in all the traditional businesses, but in the last few years, they have started AGO. They have started to put in money in Geo, of course, which is very close to more young audience, more non-traditional, modern style of businesses. So these roles started to get created. From an entry point of view, if somebody goes into, let's say, marketing and ends up with the marketing manager profile at any company or in an agency, and think of any company, don't even, this is very important for the participants to think of not only B2C companies, but also think of a B2B company. Also think from a B2B perspective that there will be companies which you are thinking of not very fancy, not very modern. Think of Jaguar, which sells taps. Everybody has taps, but most of the times you don't go shop for taps for your house. You will have a contractor shop the taps for you. It's a B2B company. Think of cement. You don't go and buy cement for your own house. So it's a B2B company.
Yeah,
but
correct.
car, of course, you buy your own car. Then you need to understand who's selling the car and so on. So yeah, cars marketing, automobile marketing will be very different from a B2B company's marketing. So this role will differentiate. So if somebody goes into an MBA, does their marketing as a specialization, ends up as a marketing manager in any of these companies, B2B or B2C, and there can be multiple services and industries or manufacturing companies, etc., that you can join, then you are sort of like either assigned traditional channels or non-traditional channels. Few years back, these channels used to be the same. There used to be the same person managing all the channels because digital marketing was much smaller. But now, because of the size and complexity, like I mentioned, with the measurement, with the number of medium that we have on digital, it's mostly like there are two people. One is for digital, who's managing only social media strategy or search strategy or YouTube strategy, and there are other people who are doing the TV strategy. Yeah. So that's one of the roles that people can expect to join if they join as a marketing manager. If you think the same on the agency side, the most entry level job is sort of like a account executive kind of a role where you will be assigned a set of clients like Zomato. And of course, you can't be assigned both Zomato and Swiggy because that will be a clash of interest. You could be working on a Zomato at the same time on a Honda car, at the same time on Ultratech Cement. And then you are doing the same as a book of business across two or three clients,
Understood.
and you're helping those clients achieve those digital marketing goals. So you are a digital marketing associate within the agency. And now think of it from places where the ads are run. Think of it from a Hotstar or a YouTube or an Instagram perspective. Within Instagram, you are being taught when you join, let's say, Instagram as a entry level digital marketer. You will be sort of like a key accounts relationship manager or a performance marketing manager. These are the kind of roles you will see most likely, where you are trying to help the agency and the client achieve the business goals that we were talking about. For example, having more people see the ad, having more people click through the ad, having more people install the app and order. So this would be like the division of roles and responsibilities from an entry level. I started on Google Ads as a search marketing manager. So the role was called something else as a designation that's on my LinkedIn as well. It was called campaign manager, but my job was to help clients who are already advertising on Google Ads have better value out of the money that they're putting into Google Ads.
Right. How did your MBA play a role in your career? As in, what were the learnings that you've had during your MICA days that actually helped you on ground during your work and all that? So there's a question about that as well, and some more things about, as an alumnus of MICA Ahmedabad, how has your educational background prepared you for the international scope of your current role, and what advice would you give to aspiring digital marketers who aim for a global career? Yeah. So you can take
Okay.
both. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, let's try to understand about how MICA helped.
Hmm.
Uh, most colleges
Hmm.
evolve like very quickly now, especially in India. I would say the top 40, 60 MBA colleges are like really world class. Like
Hmm.
you don't have to fight to get into the top five. If you don't get into the top five, top 20, that you will not have a great career. India as an economy has grown so much in the last couple of years, few years, 4 or 5 years, that you can still find a lot of good roles even if you land
Hmm.
up in the top 40, 60 MBA colleges in India. So I
Okay.
would personally recommend, don't be a stickler for only a very small set of colleges.
Hmm.
If you have to go for an MBA, if you have made up your mind,
Yeah.
do the pros and cons analysis. But yeah, probably go for getting through an MBA,
Hmm.
because most likely you will get a better exposure, a better network. So
Hmm.
I think, yeah, MICA had the most focused curriculum on marketing at that time. So
Hmm.
most of the specializations were actually super specializations into marketing.
Hmm.
And of course, like the entire atmosphere in the campus was about how do we get into a role which is closer to marketing. For example, at our time there
Hmm.
was a specialization for digital marketing. There was a
Okay.
specialization for advertising management for people who like to make ideate ads. There was a specialization about media management, which is about how you manage the media inventory, which is, and when I say inventory on media, think about how many ads can you run during Kaun Banega Crorepati in 1 hour.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
media inventory. So there are only 10 slots. How much
Okay.
do the slots sell for? Why should
Hmm.
Airtel get more slots than uh, Mintra or
Okay.
whosoever? Who's
Okay.
paying more for it? Who's going to get
Hmm.
more value out of it? Think of Hotstar. How many IPL ads can you run during an IPL match, and how much
Hmm.
do they cost? So that's media management. Then there was marketing research, was one of the specializations, about all the calculations that go behind understanding what audience you can reach for what money, which
Hmm.
market should you be expanding in. Let's say you sell your product only in the metro cities. Think of
Hmm.
Vistara. And Vistara used to fly only Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, and then they expanded to Lucknow, Kolkata, to Ranchi, and now they fly to so many other cities
Yeah.
as well.
Hmm.
When do you make that decision? Using data from market. That's marketing
Okay.
research. So
Hmm.
these were the specializations that we had at that time.
Okay.
And of course, the atmosphere in general in across the top 60, 40 colleges in India, I would say, it's very competitive, it's very rigorous. So you of course get like groomed really well
Hmm.
to be a good fit in the industry eventually. So yeah, definitely helpful.
Hmm.
The other part of the question, Kalyani, that you had about
Yeah.
the international
International.
exposure,
Hmm.
international preparation, about the international part of the role, I would say there's no fixed pattern or a like steps that I can dictate, which will be helpful for all of you. But definitely, when you work even in a company which is just focusing on India, think of a company which is only serving customers in India, and there are so many of them. Like Myntra doesn't operate outside India. Like
Hmm.
Zomato and Swiggy are
Yeah.
huge in India. Like Zomato does operate a few other countries, but they're mostly like 90%. Think of like Dabur or Himalaya. So these companies have so much focus on India because of the Ayurvedic cultural connection that India has with the business. However, there will always be a point, either you will have something to learn or adopt from any other business outside India culturally, or you will have the opportunity to expand outside. For example, I just recently learned I have a junior from MICA who works in Dabur, London.
Hmm.
She was in
Okay.
Dabur, India,
Hmm.
and they just acquired Badshah Masale.
Hmm.
And they're
Okay.
launching Badshah Masale in UK because there is a lot of demand for Indian food, Indian curry, chicken tikka
Hmm.
masala, and so on in
Yeah.
the UK and Europe.
Hmm.
Like Indian food is being
Hmm.
recognized. So they found that opportunity. They must have done their market research. They found the
Correct.
market gap. So every company will have that opportunity at some point in time. They want to expand. They'll start with Bangladesh. They will start with Sri Lanka. They will start with just Thailand or Dubai, which is again a lot of Indian, South Indian population. But then they will have that opportunity. Thankfully, with Google, it was already an American company. They had a lot of global presence. So Patanjali, yes, of course,
Hmm.
is one such example. So yeah, so Google already had a lot of global presence, and I was supporting American clients when I was in India, but there was an opportunity to support clients who are already based in the UK. So of course, uh, there's no fit pattern that how do you expose yourself to international markets. But yeah, having that perspective when you're in your MBA and during your first job after your MBA will, of course, you will learn yourself. You will find avenues of learning on how you can expand into international markets even while working in India, or while if you want to move out, of course.
Right. Okay. Let's take one question, which is also part of the skill sets. So we'll also talk about the three hard skills, three soft skills that are must for digital marketing.
The most important skill set which I learned, and I learned it the hard way, I'll be honest, because when I started from MICA, when I started preparing for my MBA, I thought that okay, you just prepare the DI section, the data section, or the quant section just to crack the MBA, which is
Okay.
not true, in my opinion. Having a knack for data is going to be the most crucial thing. I'm sorry to break this to some of you because I understand that some of you are just hating this, having to go through the quant part and the DI parts. But yeah, having a knack for data is going to take you places. There is no way around it. Even if you are not good with it, there will be a point you will have to learn everything that Excel has to offer, Google Sheets has to offer, automation has to offer, SQL has to offer. There will be a point in time in your career where either to switch, or either to get promoted, or either to crack a good project within your company or for your client, you will have to understand data. And I'll take a step back and make you understand why data is important. Whenever a client is ready to pay some money to an agency or to Google to help them get more eyeballs, let's say they pay 1 crore to run ads on Instagram and YouTube, the client or the company is looking for some profit out of it. They're not giving that money away. So that profit means there is ROI involved. So money in, and there is advertising, and the money out. Yeah. And you are the person who's sitting in the middle, the advertiser, or the person who's helping with the advertising, right? The digital marketer. So the money in and your digital marketing efforts, and the money out should be bigger than that. So it's you have to understand that ratio. You have to understand the entire data pipeline, the entire data activity which is happening, which is bringing in the ROI. So there's no hiding from that. So my advice would be to please start loving data. Try to get the basics sorted when it comes to data which is involved in marketing in general.
Okay. What about coding and all that? How much of coding and everything is needed? Is it necessary in digital
No,
marketing?
definitely not
Programming
necessary.
and
No.
okay. Okay.
So
No,
that's
not at
not
all.
that's not that's not, in my opinion, a skill that a digital marketer needs on a regular
Okay.
basis.
Okay.
But understanding of data is
So that is
must.
one core hard skill.
Yeah.
Any two more?
Okay. Let
Yeah.
me try. Okay. So the other is being open to learning, because a lot of times what happened with me as well, with a lot of my friends as well, once you complete your MBA, you get into your first job, you do that job like your life depends on it, and you don't think of course your life depends on it if it's paying for you.
Yeah.
uh, but at the same time you stop learning. But they can't be in today's date. People who are asking questions about AI, just imagine the pressure on somebody who's not starting their career, on the pressure of thinking that they are not being taught AI.
Yeah.
Somebody who's
Yeah.
30, I'm 35, so I've been working for 10 years now.
Mm.
And to catch up on all the AI that is happening in the world,
Correct.
all the
Yeah.
AI, the conversations that are happening, it's difficult. So if you
Mm.
lose the track of learning something new, it's
Okay.
going to be difficult from the very beginning of your career. For example, let's say tomorrow a new social media gets launched, and you are an expert on Instagram advertising and Google advertising, but a new social media launch, let's say TikTok comes back tomorrow to India. Will you take extra time to learn TikTok? You have to. If you don't understand the ecosystem that TikTok is offering, or any other big social media that comes in tomorrow, and the same is with AI today. So if you
Right.
think AI is going to change the world and you don't understand how it functions, and I'm not saying that you should know how it functions internally, I want to think of how it will impact the user around you, your family, you yourself, and the consumer. So anything with marketing starts with the consumer, and the consumer or the user of the service. So consumers can be using the service as like Zomato to order food, or Nike to order shoes, or Myntra to order clothes, right? So think of how the consumer's journey or the consumer's life is going to be changing because of AI. What is the problem that AI is trying to solve? Because sometimes there's a lot of clutter, there's a lot of extra information that keeps flowing, but that might not be relevant for the consumer. The consumer doesn't care on how cutting edge the technology is. The consumer
Hmm.
only cares about how it is going to make my life easier. I
Okay.
don't care about AI being integrated in Zomato unless it makes the food delivery faster, fun,
Hmm.
easier, and most importantly, cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. And what are the other skill sets one should have ideally in digital
Yes.
marketing? Soft
So
skills, also hard skills, if there are any other.
So I think I mentioned a knack for
If
data. I mentioned
yeah, hmm.
mentioned learning, and the
Learning.
other soft skills that one needs to have. I think there's another aspect, especially after I moved to the UK.
Hmm.
It's been two
Hmm.
years now. I can still say it's still I'm in the nascent stage. A soft skill that everybody needs to keep on working is communication,
Okay.
and trying to improve themselves over time. Because there
Hmm.
can never be the most perfect way of pitching. There can never be the most perfect way of presenting yourself. There will
Hmm.
always be people you will keep on meeting who will challenge you as a personality. So you need
Okay.
to keep working on how to present yourself in a
Hmm.
better manner, how to present your ideas in a better manner, how to ask the right questions. So those are the kind of soft skills. Of course, you will learn a lot of that in during presentation skills during your MBA. But
Hmm.
that's something again you need to keep working on. So being in the right company, I think that's another soft skill. Being in
Okay.
the right
Hmm.
company, it's very very important. So if you are with people who are bringing the average down, like for you,
Hmm.
then you are in the wrong company.
Okay.
So you need to find the right kind of people who will motivate you, who will teach you something when you spend time with them, rather than make you chane ke jhaad pe
Hmm.
and then you don't
Okay.
learn
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
be in such company. Yeah, that's gonna be my advice.
Hmm. Tell me something. So now that you were talking about AI. So how much of so now the students who will be coming out with for digital marketing will be just entry level digital marketing people. So how much of AI is actually creating, or rather, how much of it is a challenge for digital marketers to lose their job, or to probably develop something else, like for example with chat gpt and things like that. Chat gpt has become such a big thing, and now I think Google was also worked with another, I think,
Yeah,
Gemini or
Gemini
something.
is the new
Yeah.
product.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let
So
me take
things like
let me
that.
take my
Yeah.
perspective on that.
Hmm, hmm.
See, this is not the final word. What I'm gonna say. This is my
Okay.
opinion, and
Yeah.
this is
Hmm.
made up of my understanding of the world. And this might
Right.
vary. This is not a debate, of course.
Hmm.
I'm glad it's not a GD, and
Hmm.
it's a conversation only with Kalyani.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, see, this is evolution.
Hmm.
When, let's say, Kolkata got
Hmm.
cars, then the people who used to pull the rickshaws with their own hands
Right.
had to find another
Yeah.
job.
Hmm. Correct.
That's part of the automation. Then you can't say, hey, we should not do this. When there will be electric vehicles,
Hmm.
petrol pumps will have to reduce. Like you can't open a petrol pump in the world of EVs.
Correct.
Then you find a okay. I'll give a even more basic example. Where are all the recharge
Oh,
shops,
yes,
mobile
yeah.
recharge shops? Where are they?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
where are all the cyber cafes?
Correct, yeah. So one has
So
to basically keep updating, and just like how you said, people need to learn, keep learning and all that. And being a digital marketer, it will not end. Like the learning will not end,
yes,
because obviously
definitely.
every
So
new.
AI will not take away jobs. AI will
Correct, yeah.
create new jobs. Is what
Hmm.
everybody keeps hearing. And if you think of
Hmm.
it from
Hmm.
how it will create new jobs, is what human problem are you solving? Like if electric
Hmm.
vehicle is solving for lack, like you don't need fossil fuels, that's a problem solved, right?
Correct,
Think
yeah.
of what consumer problem, user problem. If there's no problem, AI needs to solve nothing. But
Right.
if you're spending a lot of time learning, let's say you need to learn a language and it takes
Hmm.
you 6 months to learn that, and AI is able to make it 3 months, then
Hmm.
it's solved for a problem which nobody else could solve. So if those problems are being solved, we are making humans more intelligent, more capable, then that will obviously create some opportunity as well. Either you will pay more for it or there'll be
Hmm.
more people paying for the same thing.
Okay. Okay. I'm not saying you have to say specifically about from Google point of view, but what exactly like firms like Google and Microsoft and all are looking for in if they're hiring somebody in digital marketing? What's the kind of profile they're looking at? And what can these people, attendees, can do right now to build it up on their profile? Doing any particular courses or
Yeah,
anything? Yeah.
I think everybody in this age, if everybody is so excited about AI
Hmm.
and excited about digital marketing or marketing in general,
Hmm.
then you should understand how the biggest tick any of the top 5 businesses in the world. Let's
Okay.
think of Tesla, let's think
Hmm.
of Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Louis Vuitton, again top
Hmm.
5. Think of Zara, again top 10. So these companies, how are they making money? So
Okay.
this is a skill you need to have. You need to take a step back and understand how are these biggest companies making money. For example, I mentioned Microsoft. Of course, Microsoft sells Office.
Hmm.
Microsoft sells cloud, which is
Hmm.
their business. Amazon has e-commerce and Amazon Web Services. Google has Google Ads and YouTube, right? Zara sells clothes. Louis Vuitton sells luxury items. So these are
Hmm.
the richest companies.
Hmm.
So you need to understand like what businesses these companies are in, which will sort of give you more understanding of the kind of roles these companies should be having. So
Hmm.
if you are into a luxury company, let's say think of Louis Vuitton as a bag, then of course you need to have people who understand luxury marketing better.
Hmm.
And if it's
Okay.
about Zara, people need to understand how to make cheap clothes look good. So that's
Hmm.
how only Zara can make money. That they get the clothes produced in India and Bangladesh and Pakistan and Sri Lanka, but they sell it all over
Hmm.
the world for
Okay.
2 times the price, 10 times the price. So
Hmm.
you need to understand the chain. It's called the value chain. You need to understand the value chain of all the big businesses. So that
Hmm.
will give your mind food for thought.
Hmm.
That should give your mind food for understanding how this works. And
Hmm.
hence, I recommend everybody to go through all the free courses which are available about
Hmm.
Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Meta Ads. There is, I think, Microsoft Bing's ads. There used to be Yahoo ads, and I don't think it's working in
Hmm.
India anymore. But yeah, I would say Instagram ads
Hmm.
and Google ads. There is a lot of free certification available. You can go through YouTube videos for free. There's so much free content available that you can go through. That is also an addition to your CV. At the same time, it will give you food for thought on whether you are interested in that. So there is so much
Okay.
data analytics related courses available, for example. So if you
Hmm.
if you go through data analytics course and you think, okay, this is not something for me, at least it
Hmm.
tells you that you don't want to focus on it after your MBA, during your MBA, and so on.
Correct. Yeah.
To be able
Right.
to make
Hmm.
that selection, to be able to build that interest, you'll
Hmm.
have to give it a try. You'll have to go through 100 YouTube videos, 10 random courses on Coursera and Upgrad, and maybe pay a very small amount. I don't recommend paying a lot
Hmm.
of money
Yeah.
right away. Give it a try in the free version. If you like something, then probably go for the do a test
So,
drive basically.
so tell me, what about these agencies that are coming for placements? What are the kind of profiles that they are looking for? Are they looking at, say, communication and all that? Any particular kind of questions they ask? How much of, how do they prepare? How did you prepare for Group M for that matter? As in, yeah, because obviously it's not like one brand is coming, so you can't really do a research on that,
That's true.
right? Yeah. So,
We used to have 3 versions of the CV during
okay.
campus placements. So there
Okay.
is a general CV, there is a specialization CV,
Okay.
and then you select which CV will go into
We'll go
which
where?
company, because you have changed your
Okay.
bullets or the skill
Hmm.
sets that you want to showcase on
Right.
your
Yeah.
CV,
Hmm.
depending on the companies that are
Correct.
coming. So 3 CVs were
Yeah.
minimum, I think. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, so
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
that's a
used to
good
happen.
tip. Yeah, that's a good tip for them to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens when an agency is hired by competitor brands? The team in the agency are basically working against each other.
That
Hmm.
really doesn't happen. Most of the times,
Okay.
the client is smart enough to not give the business to the same agency which has the competition's business.
Okay.
That will
Hmm.
be, and also there's like a sort of a non-disclosure. Like the Swiggy and Zomato can't be run by the same agency. Coke and Pepsi can't be run by the same
Hmm.
agency. Airtel and Vodafone India, Idea can't be run by the same agency.
Hmm.
So the workaround in this case is either the teams are absolutely isolated. It could be an agency which is, I mean, it's different teams. They can't be the
Hmm.
same team. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are traditional marketing roles disappearing, or there is equal scope for traditional and digital marketing?
Very good question.
Hmm.
Kind of country India is, there will
Hmm.
never be, at least in our lifetime, be a dearth
Hmm.
of traditional marketing.
Yeah. Okay.
There will never be. If you think of India as a 140 crore population, US has a population of 35 crores,
Hmm.
and they still do a lot of traditional marketing.
Okay.
So think
Hmm.
of India 4 times the size and 1/6 the economy.
Hmm.
So the
Hmm.
headroom that you have to grow in India in any business, be it traditional, be it new, be it digital, there's so much headroom that nothing will end like suddenly. It's going to be still a 10 to 15 or 20 years of journey. If you think of just UPI, UPI as a technology is
Hmm.
digital.
Yeah.
I understand
Hmm.
that. But if you want to implement UPI, you will have to literally go village to village. You can't literally send an email to these guys, right?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's a question about currently I'm doing digital marketing online course. Is it good to build a career in digital marketing through online? Does it work?
Yeah, I mean, good to start to learn, but
Hmm.
building a career might not be an outcome of just completing certifications. It will all obviously be an outcome of how strong you're able to present yourself. If you
Hmm.
build a CV and then get shortlisted and then go through the interviews and then crack that role. And again, if you get to join as a entry level, that's not a guarantee that you will love that work, because then
Correct.
you'll have to stick around for a few years and then build a career. So building a career is not just cracking the job. So you
Hmm.
build a career when you stay there for a few years. You don't want to switch into some other industry. Then you understand the industry so much from the depth of it. That's probably part of building the career. But yeah, good start if you're doing the certifications right now.
Okay. Can you also tell us about your role specifically now that you know?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, how different it is, and is that something that you would recommend other people to also do who have been pursuing and who have been in digital marketing for some time?
So my role, which is the customer success lead role, is focusing on solving for the support that
Hmm.
Google Ads customer receive and the time that they're spending while navigating support.
Okay.
The reason why it is so niche is you need to think of a customer which is so big that they spend a lot of money while advertising with Google. So basically, they are so invested to grow through Google. And
Hmm.
when you think of growing through Google, think of a company which thinks that they can only acquire customers when they advertise on YouTube or on Google.
Hmm.
Then they have a lot more issues because of the complexity that it brings in, because you're spending millions and millions.
Correct.
And then you have issues with the product, the setup, the Google Ads UI. Then you need somebody to help you troubleshoot. So there are
Hmm.
people who do the troubleshooting. I'm sort of the first point of contact when these troubleshooting tickets are being created.
Hmm.
If the troubleshooting tickets are not resolved in time, the committed goals for that marketing activity, for that digital marketing activity, can't be achieved. So let's
Okay.
say Amazon was trying to sell 100 uh, shoes during the Great
Hmm.
Indian Diwali festival, but
Hmm.
when they had just sold 50 shoes, their campaign started showing some issues. There was some issue, and they reach out to Google Ads support. But if I am their POC, I will ensure that this issue gets resolved quickly so they can sell another 50 shoes through Google Ads. Otherwise, of course, Google loses some revenue, Amazon loses some revenue, and then
Okay.
that's not a good look because it's Amazon. They have a very deep relationship, for example, with Google, right?
Hmm.
So again, like I said, it's very niche, very specific. As in the life of a digital marketer who would start with Google,
Hmm.
you would have like a set of clients that you will help achieve those goals. Uh, and the goals could be, of course, the goals will be focused on digital marketing, but the
Hmm.
goals will be something like you'll need to get them more eyeballs, more brand awareness, more
Hmm.
installs, more people purchasing through their website. So people search on Google, they get the search result, they click on the ad, you go to the website of that company, then you make the purchase, you sign up, you put in your credit card details, you make the purchase, you get the delivery, you're really happy about it,
Hmm.
then you again go to that website. So
Okay.
Google wants to
Hmm.
build that chain. So you will try to help your customer build that chain of it's called a marketing funnel. So you
Hmm.
create an awareness on the top, you create consideration, you create purchase, then you create retention. So that's called the
Hmm.
marketing funnel. There are a few other steps to complicate it. I'm
Hmm.
not going there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the broad way of putting it, that you help your customer, your Google Ads customer,
Hmm.
go through the purchase funnel, marketing funnel, and make more ROI or return on investment that they're doing with Google Ads or YouTube or Meta if you're working with Instagram.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What are the growth opportunities in this field in future? How do you see it growing, digital marketing?
I think like the three aspects that I mentioned in the very
Hmm.
beginning about being on the brand side
Hmm.
within a company like Zomato or Uber or Nike,
Hmm.
then being
Hmm.
on the agency side, or then being on the inventory or the publisher side. Either you are
Hmm.
part of Hotstar or Instagram or Google. So you could of course move around these. Like if you understand the digital marketing ecosystem, like you
Mm,
started with, let's say, Zomato, but you ended up with Nike, or
mm,
you started with Nike, but you ended up with Hotstar, or you started with
mm,
Hotstar, but you ended up with Google. So this
mm,
can of course happen. So those are the kind of opportunities you have in the ecosystem. Wherever there is digital marketing or digital conversation happening, then of course
mm,
you can have that. But of course, it will not come in easy. You'll have to have something extra to offer. Otherwise, why should Nike hire somebody from Zomato or Zomato hire somebody from Google? Because you have
right.
that extra understanding of not just how Google Ads works, but you also understand how the food delivery business works, or you understand how
Mm,
e-commerce works.
mm,
So those are the kind of upskills that you will do. You will be trying to sell yourself when you try to grow in digital marketing. So
mm,
it will
okay.
only get more complicated with new kinds of advertising and with user behavior changing. For example, 10 years
Mm,
back, there was no social media. So there was no
mm,
social media marketing. There was no
correct.
influencer marketing. There was no, what is now called like brand integrations in vlogs. Like
Mm,
people follow Flying Beast and other vloggers, for example, Kusha Kapila maybe. So they
mm,
do, who's the new person? Dharna on Instagram,
mm,
who's very popular.
mm,
So they have these brand integrations. So this concept did not even exist of brand
correct.
integrations. They will
Yeah.
be like, click below in my description for a code which will give you 20% off on Mama Earth. So
Mm,
this entire mechanism did not exist of
yeah.
referrals, brand
Mm,
integrations, content marketing, TVF
mm,
style of marketing, like where they integrate a product in their own
correct.
entire
Yeah.
web series.
Mm,
They will bring in a product, you know. So yeah,
mm,
these kind of things did not even exist. So it will evolve. So it's difficult to say where it will go, but it's going to be interesting.
mm. Okay. What kind of remuneration can a digital marketing professional expect post MBA, pre MBA?
I think the range
Roughly.
varies big
Yeah.
time.
Mm,
It's going to be very difficult to say, but I think
okay.
it's not the highest paying industry.
Okay.
And the reason for that is marketing as a function doesn't pay as much in the first few years,
Mm,
because the reason is because a lot of it is being it's vetted on the ROI.
okay.
So and it's a lot of people which are running marketing. So remunerations are not as much as compared to, I would say, big tech or
Mm,
coding maybe, or finance, or being a doctor or being a lawyer.
mm,
So yeah, that ship has sailed. So
okay.
uh, so it's not the highest paying, but there can be points, I think, in the future where everybody will get that opportunity to switch into a more it's called ad tech or
Mm,
digital marketing technology. So if
right.
you upskill in the right manner, you can get paid really well as well.
Mm, okay. Okay. Any tips for our attendees who are planning to get into digital marketing? What all they can do right now?
Yeah, like I said, go
Mm,
through the free courses. That should be
mm,
your first entry point. Go through a
okay.
few through free YouTube videos.
Mm.
Free
Can they
content
do
is,
internships anywhere as digital marketing? Is there anything you have any
I think
idea?
it's going to be difficult to get paid internships,
Okay.
but if you are getting
Mm,
an opportunity, if you have the time, if
mm,
your curriculum allows, if you have a
mm,
light eighth semester, like you only have
mm,
dissertation to do, you only have a
right.
project to submit, you have only exam to do and don't have the classes,
Mm,
then maybe you can go ahead and try out internships. I'm not too sure if they will pay
mm,
much or at all,
mm,
but yeah, if you have the time for it, you have the interest for it, definitely give it a try. It's not going
okay.
to be easy to get one. Like there's not like internships flying around
Yeah. Mm,
that easily. But yeah, why not give it a try?
mm.
But yeah, definitely do the free courses to at least get an understanding of whether this is something for you.
Hmm. Is there any YouTube channels or any other channels that you would recommend people to watch to understand, to have a better understanding of digital marketing? Uh,
I think for digital marketing,
mm,
there's too much content, and there's nothing specific I would recommend.
mm,
If you just literally start with what is digital marketing, how does digital marketing work, or
mm.
maybe think from a company's perspective, like I said in the beginning as well, that
Yeah.
think of how, and somebody asked that, how Zomato makes
Mm.
money. I
Yes.
know the answer. Go ahead and look it up
Mm.
yourself. To
Correct.
be honest, I am seeing a lot of questions. Some of these questions actually can be answered by YouTube better than me,
Ah, okay.
and that's reality.
Mm,
But yeah,
mm,
self-teaching is also a skill. So you
mm,
need to know where to get the right information, because there's so much information around. There's
mm.
information overload. There's way too
Correct.
many vlogs, way too many podcasts, way too many handles, channels that you have to navigate to be able to find the right content, filter and read the right content is also tricky. But I think it's very easy to verify information. So even if you reach the wrong person, you can always double verify, cross verify whether this information seems correct or not. Of course, for the most obvious information about digital marketing, nobody will tell you the not true aspects. But if you think that it's not seemingly true, then of course you can cross verify through some other channel or some other influencer that you follow.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one last question. How did you know that marketing is the thing to go with, and that is what was meant for you?
See, campus placements in India are a bit of a luck thing.
Yeah.
So that's the reality. So you don't, most of the times, you don't choose your college in counseling,
Mm.
your college in your MBA, because you only go for
Yeah.
the best one you get. You don't choose your specialization, you go with what everybody else is doing. And then
Mm.
when you sit in campus placement, you don't choose the company chooses you.
Okay.
It's like the Harry Potter hat.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it sorts you into a company. So
Mm-hmm.
if, for example, if I had ended up in a marketing research company, I might have been in a
Mm.
marketing researching career,
Correct.
but I would
Yeah.
have still been close to marketing. So
Mm.
at the same time, and I would recommend to not have a fixated view on which career you want to go into. You should
Right.
rather have a more open view, especially through the first year of your MBA.
Mm.
Give it at least 1 year of going through the MBA, because you'll have all those subjects:
Mm.
economics, marketing,
Mm.
HR, finance, and so on, every operations, etc.
Mm.
So that will give you enough understanding of whether you want to continue to a certain field or not. You have more understanding or more aligns with your end goals. Don't
Mm.
start the other way around. That okay, this is the company I want to go for,
Mm.
and that's why I'm going in an MBA. That will
Mm.
hurt.
So I would like to thank all the attendees and thank you, Akashdeep Saxena. Thank you so much for giving us
Thanks a
insight.
lot to Kalyani and IMS for again hosting me. It was wonderful. I hope the session has been useful.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you so much.